What's up, guys? Syntac here. Hope you guys enjoyed my most recent videos. Today we're going to talk about the dark rift, and right now it's that time of the day where I'm getting kind of blasted in the ass with light from one side of the office, and then it's dark on the other. So I've been reading you guys' comments, and you know, today I'm Two-Face, the Batman villain. I just need a coin to flip, right? Anyway, so yeah, I kind of mentioned that I had a technique for doing the dark rift in a previous video, and then I've gotten a couple people asking like, "Hey, can you guys show how to do the dark rift?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I'll show you guys what I do, and then I'm going to show you a couple of different comps you can run because I understand that I have broken units and really overpowered runes. So you guys don't ever have to be like, "Oh, well, yeah, it's easy for you. You've got a perna or whatever." Yeah, I do have a perna, and a lot of people have a perna. So I'll show you how to do it with a perna, but then I'm going to show you guys how to do it with other units too that you might, you don't necessarily need nat 5s. So let's just jump right in because this will probably take a little bit. So the core concept is that you want self-revives in the front line or something with a prevent death mechanic. And you guys can think outside the box all you want after I show you kind of how to do this, but So we'll talk about why the Dark Rift is so difficult. One, it requires a lot of damage to complete. And two, it requires multi-hitters. And three, it's really difficult to get those two things in and then survive. So that's kind of why the Dark Rift sucks. You don't want to... A lot of people, that front line takes a lot of damage, not just from the thorns, but from everything. So what you want to do in order for me that I found was easy was bringing things with self-revive. And what that allows you to do is, one, it allows you to bring extra DPS because now your front line is just pure DPS. And two, because of that chain mechanic where they don't take any damage, one unit can get blasted down, revive back up, and that allows your whole team to kind of an extra turn to get that counter off. And then the next unit can get chained while your other revive can get blasted down and then revive back up. And the only heals you need then are Colleen. And Colleen's kind of the only healer you should consider bringing anyway because of that attack buff. I can't really Chasoon, but she doesn't have a multi-hit. So, and you do want multi-hit. You also want revenge on a lot of stuff. Violent also is another thing that makes this rift actually more difficult. So less units on Violent makes this a lot easier. And I'll kind of tell you, my front two are on Violent, right? But my back line, except for Colleen, is not. And if I die or whatever, I'm gonna swap Colleen. So I'm gonna show you guys a couple ways to run this. You definitely don't need a perna, and you don't necessarily need two self revives. One is needed, and right there, okay, so it's gonna revive back up, right? Ideally, though, I get a little bit more damage in. Now, my hope is that we can knock this thing off. But even if we can't, by the time Perna gets taken or killed, right? Killed or taken. So she got taken. All right. Now my backline's going to get thorned to death, right? But now I'm going to be able to get that front line up. So now he's going to get thorned, right? Revive. Here comes a self-revive. And at this point, if you're not running a self-revive, whatever you've got up front's dying. At this point, whatever you're running up front is going to die. So this just bought me a whole extra round of whatever, and it works the vast majority of the time, especially with the double revive. That's also assuming that I can get enough damage in there, and that's kind of why you want to bring all of this. So I'm going to further explain this as we do more, and you guys will see the kind of units. That's a double S. That's a good finish. Okay, so we just saw it with a perna, double self revive in the front. Now we're going to do it with a homo. We could probably throw Theo up there too if you want to. If you guys, a lot of people have Theo. I'm just trying to use units that people have. If you don't have a perna, okay, let's move on to next. Everyone should have a homo if you're farming these because that's what you're farming them for. And if you don't, then I don't even know why you're trying to do Dark Rift, to be honest. And then Theo. So we're gonna try Theo because Theo's got the same. Here's the deal though. Theo needs to be tankier, right? And the reason why is because I don't want him to pop Endure prior to, well, let me make sure I got an HP rune floating around in here before I start doing something stupid. You know what we could do, though, because the Violent's not necessarily awesome either, so what we're going to do is we're going to just slap something on there that's not, that's an HP rune on it, and I got to have something floating around here, HP. I just want to tank him up. So basically, whatever you're running in the front, you don't want him to be a tank. You still want him to be DPS, but you can rune him with HP runes. This is going to drive me crazy. I've got to have one HP rune floating around here. Oh, I sure do have a lot of attacks. Get him up to like 20,000 maybe, right? What haven't I checked here? I want the speed. I definitely want the speed, right? There we go. All right. Oh, that's even got crit damage. Okay, cool. So one, now he's not violent anymore, which will reduce the thorns damage that he will take in the front line. And two, whoops, wrong one. You guys do that too. Get the regular rift. So everyone should have a home. Right now, everyone has a wind Anubis. And then let's throw in. A lot of people got the a water DK, or a lot of people got this. You can use your raid units to sort of. My Colleen's still violent, yeah. So I think I only got one violent unit now. And I've got 2 prevent death, self-revive, but they're DPS units on the front. So let's see how this works. Fingers crossed. And I don't have any. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say, oh, Triple S is gonna be. I don't think any way this comp can get Triple S right now. Maybe if I was auto or not on manual and playing it, and I put better runes. I don't have my best runes on any of these units, so you're never gonna hear me say, oh, you know, if you guys want to get Triple S, you need best runes. You probably need to manually play it for the most part. Like I can auto Triple S 50-50 on that first comp with the perna or whatever. But, you know, if I really wanted to devote myself to farming this, I would definitely be putting in more, re-runing some things, moving them around. I'm trying to kind of do these quick so you guys can get just an idea of the roles you want to kind of be using for this unit. You definitely want multi-hitters. So, the Kung Fu girls are great, right? You see me rocking those a lot. You see the liches are great. If you don't have 2 Kung Fus, you use 2 liches. If you don't have 2 liches, you know, I mean, use something with multi-hits that... Necro units work well for this. Sierra doesn't because she's a bomb mechanic. So don't use Sierra. Sierra sucks. Revenge works well for this. So use stuff with Revenge too. Probably should have Theo on Revenge too if I really wanted this comp to work. Yeah, but this is why if you like, because they're having these like rift discussions right now. It's kind of like an event type deal. Like you'll see some people succeeding with Theos and stuff on these comps in the front line. And it's the same concept. It's that revive, it's that prevent death mechanic that buys you that extra time to knock that turn counter off. It also allows you to bring DPS units for that front line versus tanks and healers and stuff. Yeah. So I'm hoping, you know, if we can't get this, I might start running Yaku and Faye, because I'm getting slightly. Okay, good. I didn't even because I've only got 1 violent unit. My turn counter's a lot lower. I didn't even get Thorned to the Endure yet, which is what I wanted. I still haven't hit Endure yet, which is even better. So I'm going to show you those Theo stats after this because that's going to be super helpful in buying me extra time. I still don't think I'm getting enough damage out, though, prior to... which is why this is so difficult. You guys are seeing me do these, and you're seeing me not die, and I'm still not completing the rift because I'm not getting enough goddamn damage out yet. And I've got my stuff ruined pretty well. And some of it comes down to just getting that ignore defense mechanic or whatever, you know. Because now he's going to Dark Roar, and there's no way, you know. I didn't get any ignore defense hits on then, which sucks. And she's not killing him on her own. Okay, so let's swap in Yaku. That was close though. See, we lived all the way till the final breath. Which your goal is to get this done prior to the final breath. And if not, you know, you're right there on the edge. And that's why this is so difficult. Let's bring the Yaku. And you guys can see even I fail with this. So my Yaku, I did kind of go around and power up his stats a little bit. And why I think he'll work is because he has an ignore defense, you know, along with Faye. Sometimes they just don't proc at all, you know. So if you don't have a Faye and this works, I would highly, highly recommend using Yaku. You know, my phase ignore defense was like 25k. The Yaku's is, I think right now, hit for 14 or 15. If you have a perna, you know, with the lead, it's even more. Perna's not, I'm not gonna lie, perna makes it a way easier, but you can do it without. I will say, like, I will even fail occasionally with perna. So you are never gonna probably find like 100% triple S, double S comps. Like, you're still gonna fail on the Dark Rift, that is. But you want to get that ratio up, and the revive in the front typically, it allows you definitely to survive longer. It allows you to hopefully bring enough damage. I'm glad I kind of got that fail in there, because it shows, like, even when you do live, if you don't have that DPS, and that's why you really want to focus on bringing all DPS slots. Oh, Jamie's another one. We can bring Jamie too. You know, I can run 4 or 5 times using a variety of different. Those ignore defense mechanics are really, really nice. I don't have a bulldozer. Bulldozer's got multi-hit, right? I think if you got a bulldozer, I think bulldozer can work as well, because that ignore, and he hits really hard for that ignore defense. And you want that, and the reason why I keep mentioning ignore defense, you want that for the final stage, because you have to get that boss dead. And it's really, you know, Bethany's another one. I really wish I had a Bethany. I'm sure Corrosive, or someone like Corrosive who's got an amazing Bethany, probably uses Bethany for Dark Rift. So, you know, I'm just kind of spitballing ignore defense options, and the main reasons why is because you want to get enough DPS to be able to down this boss on the 3rd stage right now, where we're at right now. It's very difficult to get him down without ignore defense mechanics, even bringing, like, as I am, almost a full DPS comp. You know, the Windhome doesn't bring ignore defense, but he does have good damage, and I'm running that, like, Magic Bullet Madness. I'm running HP slots on here, so if I really cared, I would probably maybe run like an HP attack. I would get it to the point where I could, if he was about to die from thorns, it would take him all the way down, but still he wouldn't die from the thorns. Boom. So we're doing all right here. Hopefully we can get this. We still got a little bit of time. I got a little bit of ignore defense in there. Now Theo's gonna hopefully proc endure. There's the endure. Same thing as a self revive, right? Okay, I just got my ignore defense wipeout from. So now he's going to take Theo next, as long as Theo doesn't die here. Did I put enough DP? Oh, sweet. I got enough HP on him. So now Theo, if I didn't quite get that done right, we did it. Theo would have gotten the thing wrapped up next, but I would have fallen off of the other one. Oh, double S. No perna. It's possible. Okay, cool. So I'm glad we got that in. Now I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So that's with a Theo, which is the same concept. Think about it. It's you know, revive is what? It prevent death. It's the same mechanic, okay? And Faye, Yaku, ignore defense. Okay, so on the last one we did it with, you know, kind of a lesser, you know, no perna, double S, and it full auto. I should make that like manual. Yeah, you don't need anything like this for manual, but that was full auto. We're gonna try a true poor man's comp. And when I say poor man, I guess you mean no nat 5, right? There's no nat 5s in there, yeah. And kind of like what other people are rocking around. I see a lot of people using Tark, so I'm gonna bring my good Tark. I've got 2 Tarks. This is my good Tark. And I'm gonna use the Wind Anubis. Because I've seen people complain that they don't have, you know, a non-maxed homo. So a lot of people might not have that. So yeah, you might need to build something like a Wind Anubis or whatever for this comp, because the Wind Anubis does have a nice multi-hit. So we'll see. This is kind of that true poor man's comp, and I'll you know, in theory, I would think this would work just as well as anything. We'll see. We shall see, right? You know, if we start talking about that, you know, roles versus units, might need to make a few adjustments, and that's kind of how these rifts go. I did like these things a lot when they first came out, because it's really good to me, PvE content. You see, if you don't complete it, you see what you did wrong, you can make tweaks, which is, to me, the funnest part of this game is tweaking the stats on stuff. And this allows you to, it kind of works on your skill as a stat tweaker in general. Yeah, so plus you guys can kind of see, you know, the processes that I go through. I'm not going to just show you, oh, super successful runs, 100%, whatever. You guys can kind of see some of the processes I go through as I'm putting these teams together, and what's going through my head as I'm doing them. because this isn't necessarily just right out of the box easy content for me to do. That's annoying. Really didn't want him to proc endure there. Really, and that's not a good sign in general because that basically means I probably don't have enough DPS. Really did not want my Theo to proc endure there, especially because he's got an HP rune. And that's the big, you know, all your revives, whatever, you don't want them to proc endure. You don't want them to... But I do, that's a lot of damage. This is like, we're getting up there in triple S territory now, right? Because if we get this up to 3 mil when it completes, triple S, baby. Oh, that sucks. Okay, so you know, the one saving grace of Theo endure procking was if he got taken first. But now he's done, but dead. See, this is a good example of why you want your things to survive till the 3rd stage. This might have been a triple S run. in all honesty, this probably would have been a triple S run with poor man units if Theo hadn't procced his goddamn endure. So that sucks. So, but again, you know, you guys can kind of see what the concept is here. Let's take a look real quick. He should have I don't know why. Is Colleen... I got her on full violence. I still want her on violence. She just didn't get him healed fast enough, I guess. All right, let's try it again, guys. Let's try it again. You know, when I farm Dark Rift, I think for the vast majority, I could hit triple S on auto occasionally, and for the vast majority, it was double S finishes on auto. You know, just all day long, restart over and over again. The grind actually wasn't that bad. It's just kind of like you just got to more like make yourself do it. I'm kind of psyched that this comp got so much damage. You know, even though it didn't complete on that last one, that was pretty cool. I didn't think that was even possible. You know, no perna. So, but overall it's still following the same concept that my perna comp follows, in the sense that you want to run the double revive sustain type deal in the front, to kind of give you, it allows you to bring more DPS, it buys you extra time on knocking the chains off. And it prevents your backline from getting bent over and thorned. See, I think the big issue with this is that you know, I really want, I don't want to make this like a 50-minute long video on how to Dark Rift, but I really do want, because Jamie, the Dark Bounty Hunter is one of the cooler units in this game, and he doesn't have a lot of like awesome uses, and this is one. He does have good uses inside the Dark Rift. I love Jamie, and so you can use a Jamie too, so I don't think mine's even ruined though, which is the problem. Jamie works better with perna because you know, having some sort of a heal is nice. You know, so what I would do is replace Colleen with Jamie, and then you're getting like extra ignore defense mechanics, right? You're getting extra ignore because Jamie's got an ignore defense mechanic, and then you're getting your attack buffer now is no longer a heal. So I would probably run Jamie with perna. And I run perna on the front because it's a single hit, right? So if perna gets taken, great. So my endure just proc, but the problem is I still don't think it's going to be enough damage to get this thing down. I think my Theo's going to die here again. I basically just needed Theo to hang on right there, but because I got a lot of procs right there on my ignore defense unit, but I still don't think it's going to be quite enough. Yeah. Okay, so for the poor man comp, I made a few changes very quickly. Whoops, I don't think I meant to put him back. I just swapped in a better crit damage because the one I had wasn't max. This is a 5-star, but it's got HP, so I gave him a little bit more HP. And I took my Ayunu off of Violent. I'm gonna try and reduce that amount of Thorns damage I'm taking right out of the gate. I probably should take Theo off Violent too. Now that I think about it, we'll see. I think if anything, you want your ignore defense to be on Violent. And this comp seems to have enough damage. I think it's the Tark, though, to be honest. It's really kind of bringing that up. You know what I also should do is I should swap in my Wind Lich over Rigel, because my Rigel is actually not very DPS optimized. He's got an accuracy slot 6, and my my Fucko. I think most people call it Fuko, right? Though, am I saying at least one unit right? Fuko. It's fun saying Fucko. My Fucko is got a lot more deeps than my Rigel, my Rigel. Although I love the full revenge for this particular. I love full revenge for Necro too on at least one unit. I don't like it on all the units. I think violence superior, but yeah, it's way less thorn damage. Okay, just switching one off really makes a difference on that thorns damage. I think the big key to this comp is getting enough ignore defense procs on your your Yaku, your poor man's Fae, right? That's what I call him, the Yaku. But this comp seems to do some pretty good deeps, double S type deep. There we go. We just hit double S. Like I said, though, the ones that failed, man, a little minor tweak. If I really cared, I could probably tweak this up to a triple S almost comp. I didn't realize I could do that well. Sometimes you surprise yourself. See, the big thing is not necessarily knocking this turn counter, and that's a big mistake I think a lot of people make with this. The big thing on this final stage is not necessarily getting this turn counter off as fast as possible. It's making sure you have enough DPS to down this boss. Because if you don't, you're effed. Please live, please. Okay, finally, the Theo lived. So let's see. This is the first time I've gotten the Theo to live this long. He's oh yes! All right, that's what we wanted. We wanted Theo to get taken there. Because Theo was about to die, so they just took my dead unit. Now my own is gonna. Oh, I hope we do this now. We've got the setup, guys. We've got the setup, right? Before the final roar, we've got it. We've got it set up. Now we gotta knock the. Oh, you lost Yaku! No! Oh. Yes. Okay, we did it with the poor man comp. Double S. Okay, so it's possible, right? Good runes, though. Good runes. We did it with the poor man comp. Same mechanics, right? So the couple of things then. The final takeaway on all this is, one, you want revive or prevent death type mechanics on the front line. If you're having issues, with killing that boss in time, look for ignore defense type mechanics, right? Yaku, or if you've got access to some better ignore defense units, use them or try them. If you guys have Bulldozer, I think Bulldozer will work just fine. And I would highly recommend that several people test Bulldozer for me. And then if you're having issues with your things dying in the front line too soon, reduce the amounts of violence off of your units, okay? These are kind of the core concepts to the Dark Rifts, and allows you to, auto double S. We did get a double S auto comp, poor man comp to work. And this is almost a complete free to play. Well, wait, did we get this? Is this a free to play? If you count these all as Hall of Hero type, this is a free to play comp, right? Did we? Which we got an Anubis. I just don't know. We got Kuman, didn't we? Yeah, we got the Kuman. Okay, so yeah, it's almost close. Whatever, right? Maybe Wind Homo for the Anubis, totally free to play. I don't know. Sure, you guys. I'm not gonna call it free to play anyway, so you guys can bicker over that all you want. Anyway, I hope this helps out a lot with the Dark Rifts. I know a lot of people have had issues with it, and this kind of, I'm also glad we got some fails in there, because I'm hoping this kind of shows the thought process that goes along with developing comps or teams that I go through for these types of endgame content. Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate you guys checking it out. Subscribe if you're new. Check out some of the other stuff. We've got some cool, all kinds of videos coming out now. I'm having a blast doing this. Remember, we stream Thursday nights at 6 game time. Yeah. So check you guys later. And real quick, because I'm sure I'm gonna get a million things, and I totally spaced it, guys. I'm gonna show you the runes. I'm sorry. I totally spaced it. I'll show you everything's the runes real quick. Sorry, I ended that video, and then I just thought, I'm like, you know what? I always forget to do this. So let's start with the Iuna. This was the final comp. I used the poor man comp, right? Okay, these were the runes we used. I need a power. I'm as bad as any beginner when it comes to powering up runes. I only do it if I get something really good or exciting. I'll sit there and I'll power stuff up all the way to max right out of the gate. I got some nice stuff on some. I'm not gonna lie. I consider them B tiers. Like everything went into crit damage. You're like, oh, but it's cool. It's got high crit damage, but I don't know. It's not a stat. Like when I get stats distributions is what I call them. If I get stat distributions that I really like, it's like when everything goes into either speed, HP, or crit. Those are kind of my three big ones. And I get a lot of other ones. I get everything else. There's one that went like, that was a legend. Yeah, I got 3 rolls into, yeah, that was a legend that got 3 friggin' rolls into accuracy and 1 roll into speed. And you guys, if you guys see my runes and you're like, oh, you must get, trust me, you guys, I get 10 times the amount of garbage. I get awesome drops, right? And then I get 10 times the amount of garbage rolls into this. I got a pretty, Yaku, I think, low HP, but I got a pretty nice, pretty cool set on Yaku in terms of, it's a good B tier set, I think. She's got the stats are nice on it. I get so many like drops where I get excited for every, not every day, but every other day or so I'll get a drop. I'm like, oh, it's just 99% of the time the rolls go. Resist. That's the one they love to go into resist for me. And this is my good Tark. I say I've got 2 Tarks, and I call one my good Tark and one my bad Tark. This is my good Tark because these stats are optimum to me. He's got everything. So that's the poor man comp. Sorry about that, guys. Cut that right in at the end there. So you guys get to see the runes. And then yeah, I used perna for the first one, right? Oops, wrong perna. You guys have all seen my perna. I'm gonna do a rune showcase video here shortly to a new one. I know I've done an older one. What else did I use that you guys? Oh, I'll show you guys all the stuff I used. So there's the Zalin. This is just this is my raid build for her, and then for where's Faye's the last one, right? Faye's got a pretty cool set on. She's not optimized by any means because, like I said, these would be a lot better with revenge runes. So cool. All right, cool. Now we're done. I'm glad I got to shut up. Glad I remember. I'll cut it in. Cool. Awesome. Have a good one, guys.